Magandang araw, ako si Kuya Code. Welcome back to my channel where I teach Python through coding challenges and HackerRank. So in this video, we're not going to be going over coding challenge, but instead we're going to be going over the final pillar of object-oriented programming, which is abstraction. So abstraction is about simplifying the interaction with complex systems by hiding unnecessary details and shows only the essential details to the user. Abstraction defines a contract for classes to follow and ensures that certain methods are available. However, abstraction can also include fully implemented methods as well as ones that the subclass must implement. So I have some starter code here. So ABC is abstract base class, and we have abstract method, which is a decorator that you can put on a method to make it abstract. And then when that method is abstract, that means that you can't use that method inside of the parent class, and that you must implement it inside of the weapon or inside the the child class. So we're going to deal with weapons. A player can have a specific type of weapon, and depending on what weapon they have, will have different outputs. And then you can just swap the weapon. Normally, if you're making a game, you can swap the weapons with usually buttons, and then the interaction is different. So we'll go ahead and get started with this. So of course, for our init method here, self.name equals name. And our attack method will be abstract. So we'll do abstract method. And then for abstract method, we can just print, I'll just print default to show you something afterwards. And then for the weapon info, it's simply just going to print out just some general weapon info of the one that you passed. Imagine it being like if you examine a weapon or highlight a weapon in a game, it just kind of gives you some default text based off of whatever it is you're looking at. And then for the sword and the bow class, like I said, we have to implement this. So that's the first thing. So def attack self and then print. We'll just print swinging the self dot name for a powerful slash, and then we'll also include a bonus method as well. And this one we'll just say the self.name delivers a critical strike or critical hit. All right, and then we can just do the same thing for the for these two. So we'll just do it like that. Def attack self. This one will be def arrow self. Inside of here, shooting an arrow from the self dot name. And then this one we can do the arrow from self dot name pierces through armor. Okay, and we are good with this. Oh, and what we're actually going to do, which is part of the abstraction, is when you call the attack, it's going to automatically call self dot sharp strike. And then this one, self dot piercing arrow. So it's part of the abstraction because when you call attack, you don't know anything about this. I guess even if you could like make this private, like in a previous example where you had a private, or not previous example, in a previous video, you had a private method where you can't access it or call it directly, but it's called inside of the class through a different method. So this is part of the abstraction because you don't really need to care about this method or even kind of know it exists, other than if you look at it, it still gets called. You don't have to do it yourself. So now we'll just do the player class, which will have our init method, self, name. We'll also pass in the weapon type. And again, this isn't enforced. This is referring to the class that you're expecting to pass into this, which is referring to that. And then self dot name equals name, and then self dot weapon equals weapon. And now we'll have def attack self, and then we can just call, not that, self dot name attacks, and then self dot weapon dot attack. So we'll just call whatever weapon is passed into the player. That weapon is going to have an attack method, as you can see here and here, and it's just going to call that. It's also going to call the special one for each type, or for the given type. And then the last thing is just weapon self dot weapon info. Okay, and now we can make our objects. So sword player, and then we'll also have a bow player. So this is the name of the player, and this is the weapon, and the name of the weapon. We'll have Arthas, and then we'll go with Legolas again. And the sword name is Excalibur. And then the weapon name is, for this one, the bow. And now we can just call it. So sword player dot attack, and then bow player dot attack, and then the sword player and bow player dot check weapon. Okay, so now we can look at this. So, oh, that's self.name. I forgot my brackets. Where am I missing that? Right here. So Arthas attacks, swinging the Excalibur from a powerful slash. The Excalibur delivers a critical hit. Legolas attacks, shooting an arrow from the elven bow. The arrow from the elven bow pierces through armor, and then this is an Excalibur, a powerful weapon. This is the elven bow. That should be an An. I guess both of those should be. And a powerful weapon. So that's exactly what we were expecting. But again, when it comes to extraction or abstraction, if you were to go ahead and hide this, and if you turn this off, it's going to see that the sword class doesn't have a default, doesn't have their own attack, so it's going to go up to the parent to use the parent's attack, which is going to print out default instead. So let's see that. So now it just says default because Arthas doesn't have an attack method. But the thing about abstraction, though, is that it doesn't allow you to do that. So if we make this abstract again, it'll give us an error. And the error says, cannot instantiate abstract class sword without an implementation for an abstract method attack. So it doesn't allow us to use this at all. It's saying that we have to have the attack method inside of the sword or inside any child class of the weapon. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And then yeah, there we go. That actually works. So this is an example of abstraction. Um, what you need to do is kind of mess around, try to have classes, make up your own classes, and try to incorporate all of them, like incorporate, encapsulation, incorporate polymorphism and abstraction, and inheritance, and that way you kind of get more comfortable with it. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more coding challenges. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. See you next time on Code. Paalam.